We have Leonardo Rubalcava, who we met at the Green Belt Challenge many years ago. And on that 3-day show, at the end, you became the WBC amateur champion. Tell us about that experience.
Oh, it was amazing, especially getting one of those belts. You know, I always grew up watching on TV, and it was very unexpected. I really I knew I did good in that tournament, but there were so many fighters and stuff, and I was young, so I remember I was just with my cousins. We were just hanging out right there when they mentioned my name, and me and my dad, we just turned around, we looked at each other, and it was amazing, you know.
Tell us about that transition from amateur to pro.
Yeah, it was a good experience. I did a lot of amateur fights. I did over maybe 140 amateur fights, so I had a good amount of fights. And the transition was kind of what I expected. It was a little different, you know, especially having little gloves, no headgears. Everything does change now. Like, you gotta make sure every punch counts, and you gotta be very alert, because if you sleep during the fight, you could get caught with a punch. And it has shown a lot that, like, it's happened a lot that many fighters with one punch though.
Take us through your pro debut fight. How did you, before and after, were you nervous?
Yeah. It's like how Mike Tyson said, every fight you feel nervous, you know, but as every fight goes, you learn how to control the butterflies. But yeah, the first fight, I was pretty nervous. I remember going in, and it was a different experience, you know, especially once you get the first punch that comes in. It kind of wakes you up. Like, oh, you gotta be sharp. You gotta be very alert. And it was I've noticed every time I fight, I'm doing better and better. So yeah, we're just training harder every time, and we're motivated.
He's going to be on that card, and they already, you know, they even came up with a fight agreement, like a contract for him to fight under Matchroom. So, you know, we're blessed, you know, that things are going well.
So what brought you into a boxing gym when you were a kid? How did you end up in boxing? Yeah,
so my dad, when he came out here to the States, he trained boxing when he was like 19 years old, but he started at a late age. But he's always liked boxing, so we grew up watching boxing. And he put my two older brothers to box, and they'll train right there in Santa Fe Springs. And during that time, I would just sit down, and I would just be next to my mom, and they'll tell me, "Hey, do you want to train?" I'd be like, "Nah, I don't want to train." And so when I was like 7.5, I told them, "Hey, I want to spar." They're like, "Oh, you gotta train first." I'm like, and then after we ended up making an agreement, they were like, "Oh, if you train a little bit, as soon as you turn 8, we'll put you to fight." So yeah, that's the reason why I started. And when I was younger, I just want to spar. I wouldn't want to train, you know. But it's like I believe boxing has always been my talent, and I've always been good at it. So yeah, and I always loved it since the first day I started fighting and stuff.
Be what he is right now. Stay with his family, with his dad, his brothers. The way they've been doing it, you know, his dad, his mom, they've done a great job. And obviously, when it comes to the gym, listen to us, believe in us.
So yeah.
So how was your first sparring session? Was that what you expected?
It's like when little 7-year-olds, you know, all they do is throw punches. But I've always been strong since I was young. You know, I've always had, because I would do a lot of push. I would like to watch a lot of Bruce Lee when I was younger. So my dad would always have us doing exercises, doing push-ups and all that. When I was actually 9 years old, we sent a video to the Guinness World Records. I did I believe it was 86 push-ups with one hand, with my right hand.
Wow.
We still have the tapes.
Did you get a...
No, they told us it was the guy that had the record. It was like this one guy from, I think he was from Australia, or he was like 36 years old. He did like over 1,000 push-ups in 1 hour. And I was like 9 years old, and my dad was like, we just...
With one hand?
Yeah, it was,
How many can you do now?
Right now? I haven't really done it in a minute, but I could still probably do like 30, you know? 40.
Yeah.
Not like 86. And I have to get back to it. Yeah. That's gonna be my goal now. I have to hit at least 100 one hand now.
One hand, and each one, so you can keep
each
this
one.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so he's raised like a true Mexican. Right after the fight, I remember all those guys from Matchroom asking him, "Man, you know, you have very similarities as when Canelo started. You know, your resemblance. You know, the attention you're getting. So maybe they're seeing something that in the future." We might have something close to a Canelo. You know what I mean? Hopefully we do, you know, because, man, who doesn't want to be you know, like Canelo. So that's awesome. You know, they like I'm telling you, it was just one fight, good performance, and it looks like they fell in love with him.
So was there any fighters during that time when you were a kid that inspired you, that you looked up to?
Yeah. Like the fighters I have always looked up to is like Salvador Sanchez, Oscar De La Hoya, Canelo. You know, they're like my motivations. You know, and yeah, so those are like the boxers I always look up to, especially Salvador Sanchez. I'll say he'll probably be my top one. Finito Lopez too. He's real talented.
Oh, you know the greats.
Yeah, man. You know, we're in the sport, so we have to study this. You know, so yeah.
And there's not too much content on Salvador Sanchez, so you really got to dig deep. I've looked up, you know, on like Google and stuff, just just things about him. I've looked up many of his fights. And I believe he's one of the greats, you know. For sure.
30 that I have, there's always that one fighter that might still have questions. What if this? What if that? You know, you got to believe. You got to believe in your team. You got to believe in your trainer. You got to believe in everybody in the gym. Everybody support each other. And that's what my gym is. And as long as they follow instructions and they believe in me, then, you know, we could get very, very far.
Oh, it was a good experience. It was amazing. I fought out there in Aguascalientes, pretty much near my hometown, which my hometown is Teocaltiche, Jalisco, which is only like 40 minutes away. And fighting in Aguascalientes, it was amazing. And being able to have that opportunity to fight in my hometown, it was wonderful.
Yeah.
And yeah, I did my work. I believe I showcased. I showed the people what I'm made of, and yeah, we're excited.
How many times have you fought in Mexico? Once?
In Mexico, I fought one in Jalisco, and then the other time was in Ensenada, and then another time in Tijuana.
Okay, so this one you had to fly, right?
Yes.
So as a fighter, when you train here in California or, you know, other fighters, other places, and you have to travel, do you have to kind of adapt your diet or your exercises? Like, do your legs get tired? Do you get swollen? Is there any changes you have to make?
Just the traveling part. I mean, when I left through the airplane, I wanted to leave during like almost on weight, you know, so I wouldn't have to like suffer too much during the flight.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, we're mentally and physically prepared, and yeah, we already knew what was gonna happen. We already knew how to fly, especially. Yeah. I was out there in Mexico like a month before, so I'm already used to that flight. So
yeah.
I'm already, I'm very.
Okay, that's good. So you've been, how old are you?
I'm 21.
21. So you've been boxing for about 10, 11, like 13 years?
Yeah,
13 years?
Yeah.
In those 13 years, have you had any challenges that you've faced that maybe, you know, maybe I'm not going to do boxing?
Well, yeah, it was actually, I had broken my hand. I was gonna make my pro debut. So what happened was during COVID hit, so I didn't make my pro debut. And then after the year after, I was gonna make my pro debut, and then I broke my right hand. So that kind of during that time, I was out. I was just working construction, and I told my dad, "Hey, I want to get back to boxing. I want to get back." And then after, that's when we hit up Robert, and we decided to make the change out here to start training here with Robert, and God bless, everything's been going well.
So now that you've been with Robert, have you feel that your boxing has gotten better, or maybe you just grew more?
Yeah, I believe I grew as a fighter, as a person, myself, as a self. Yeah. And just having, he's very experienced, so he gives me very good fight, like whatever, if I need how could I explain it? Well, he's very experienced, so he tells me what I have to do and gives me a lot of consejos, like inside of boxing and outside of boxing as well, just in life in general. He's always giving me just talks in general.
Advice.
Advice.
So more than a trainer, he's like a teacher and advisor.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
Y te regaña.
Yeah, like he'll tell me like, hey, like he's always giving me advice, how he said, just inside the ring and outside the ring as well, because I feel like just boxing in general, there's a lot of, just me as a boxer, I could get distracted real quick.
Yeah.
Get distracted real quick, because let's say I go back home and there's parties, and he would tell me, hey, like, you shouldn't be doing this, that, and like, I listen to him like if he was like a father.
Yeah.
So I respect him a lot, very much.
That's awesome. So, boxing is a really difficult sport, and there's so many fighters out there. What are you gonna do so the fans can, you know, just stay interactive with you, so you can outshine all the thousands of other fighters out there?
Yeah. I mean, like, what's like, how do I see my career? Or?
Yeah, like, what are you gonna do to captivate us and say, hey, keep your eyes on me, I'm special?
Yeah. I just got, every time I fight, I have to showcase and show everyone what I'm made of. You know, I'm from Jalisco, so I gotta show everyone that como somos allá. You know.
Yeah, arriba.
I then support motivate all the younger kids. You know, because especially in Mexico, there's a lot of talent.
Yeah.
A lot of kids don't know that they have talent because they've never done any sports.
All right. And one day, you know, growing up, right now you're still young, but one day you'll have your own family. You know, kids that are going to be looking up to you, your kids. So what's your biggest goal in this sport?
Yeah, to be a world champion, which I know I'm going to do. I just got to train very, very hard and listen to my team.
Yeah.
That's all I really have to do. Just listen to my team, train hard, and yeah, I think I could accomplish that. I'm just motivated. Being able to have the opportunity to train with Robert is a blessing, you know. And I just got how he said, I just got to listen to him and just work hard. And I believe everything will go. And
what advice would Leo at 21 give Leo at 7 years old?
Just to never give up. There's always going to be obstacles in your life. You know, there's going to be a little blockage, but you know, as long as you don't give up, everything will go as planned.